How's it going, everyone? This is your boy Harley, and welcome back, everyone. I'm sorry I haven't videoed any content in the past almost 2 weeks since my last video. But first off, happy 2021 to everyone. I hope 2020 made you all learn of life lessons from COVID-19, from in racial justice. It was an historical year, and I was wanting to do a video prior to 2020 ending toward 2021 was coming up, but work schedule, exhaustion, and your boy plays basketball on the side though too, even through this rough time. So, and I know I'm in my chill clothes because I didn't feel like putting on any clothes because I'm filming this very late. What time is it right now? I think it's 1:42 a.m. So that's I was going to check over the time. So anyway, I'm just gonna go right into it, and figured, I never really filmed this video on my Instagram page, so I might as well make you all learn this part of my past about me, what happened to me in 2014, 2014. It's gonna be a little bit tough because it was. We could say that 2020 was a terrible year, but at least I ended it on a good note to knowing that I had what was needed. But 2014 was not ended on a good note, and it was just a lot of depression and a lot of life struggles that played a role in that year. So I'm just gonna get right into it. So long time ago, I was 19 at the time, and there was this one girl named Jean. And this is the one time I have to mention a name, because what I'm gonna tell you, this isn't to publicize her, but this is something that did happen to her. When I first met her, we actually met through Facebook. And funny thing was, we gained each other's interest as the conversation was getting further and further, and we liked where it was going. And we started to take a good interest in each other. She was a very beautiful Haitian girl that was always looking for a high spirited person, and that was always looking for someone that can be there for comfort, be there for support. And she did the same thing with me. So at that time, that was during a time where I didn't want to make my relationship so public, because I never know what type of risks I'm going to take when stuff like that happens. So as I started to get to know her, it was going very well. There have been times where I would not play ball. Actually, I would finish playing basketball at LA Fitness, and this was during a time where I didn't have a car. I was traveling by city bus, but she was in the area of where I used to go play basketball at that LA Fitness. I'm not gonna list any cities, but yeah, that's the only thing I'm not gonna enlist of where this was at. But once we started to get a closer connection, our first date was actually at a Coleridge movie theater where we were watching a movie, and we saw the Amazing Spider-Man 2, I believe. Yeah, it was Amazing Spider-Man 2, and we had a regular nice date, and that was like one of my first dates growing up. My first date was when I was 15, going on 16, but that was a better overall date, because the first one was trash. I mean, let's just say that the first one was very strange people, but I'm not. That video isn't about her. I'm not gonna mention any names about her because she don't mean anything to me. But this one, um, she mean a lot to me. And we were dating. We had a close bond together after the movies, and then we started to take the time to know each other. After that, we were always sending goodnight texts, wishing we would be there for each other. And what's funny was that she was a Haitian girl. Her mother wasn't a big fan of interracial dating. Like, she wanted to be with she wanted her daughter to be with a Haitian gentleman herself, so that's why we had to keep things a little private. But it was not too private to the point to where she did understand that I was treating her well. It wasn't your real traditional relationship because there was so much that we could handle. Like for me to be able to come over to the house, I had to sneak into her house. She had to open up the windows for me, making sure that I was comfortable and all that too. Like she was always making sure that she would want me around too. Like we would cuddle, be there for each other. It was something we would always tell each other that I never want to leave you. I always want you by my side. And then we always said to each other. I actually said to each other, "You think as we get older, you think our situation will ever get better, where we can actually be happy and expose our real foundation of what we have for each other?" She says, "I think so. We just gotta be patient." We held each other that night when I said that. And I will admit, it was one of the happiest moments ever being with someone like her. She was one of the sweetest, most caring people I've ever had to encounter. I've ever had in part of my life, and I don't regret it one bit ever meeting with her and everything moving forward. She was in college like I was. I was in BC. She was in Broward College, but she was in a different campus. So we took the time to we helped each other with some subjects. She did with me, I did with her. Some people wouldn't even know that I was in. I would say it was like a relationship. To me it was a relationship, but how everyone else would see it, it didn't seem like a relationship because we had to keep it so private. Like I would tell my mom I'm going on a date with this girl, so on and so forth, and then Jean would say that I'm gonna go ahead and meet up with me, Harley. She couldn't say her mother couldn't say anything because she wanted her daughter to be happy, so she had to put aside that me being white was like she had to put that aside, like, because I don't know, like, because Jean was open to any race. She was a free spirited mind. She was a very loving person, and she was someone that was there for comfort and emotional support. Like whenever I would go through stress with college, because college, I'm telling you something, college got stressful. Then it's gonna take me a while to express this. I mean, as I got older, I started to gain more of the confidence of what happened, but all right, I'm just gonna go right into it. One night, September 14th, 2014, Jean was coming home from a study group, and for some reason, I don't know any of these people that were involved with what I'm about to say, but let's just say that it was just one of the most random things that have ever happened in my life. It was I can't call it a freak accident because this was something done on purpose, but as she was coming home from a study group, she got jumped by 5 girls and 1 guy. I don't know what the story was. I don't know what it was about. As I tell the story, I'll probably tell you what transpired, but she got jumped. From what I was told, she got jumped, she got beat up, bruised up, cut up, all that. The guy was there to hold her, like have her like hold to her. She couldn't even move, from what I heard, because a victim, like a person, an outsider. I don't know the word for it for some reason. Fuck. It's a little emotional trying to tell you how everything goes, but that what happened that night. So as she got help to where she couldn't even escape, she got she got stabbed by a hunting knife, and they left her in the dust. She was she was sent over to the hospital, and luckily it was at the hospital near where I was. And so I got a call from her phone because I don't think her mom had a cell phone at the time. But her mom actually called me for her phone. She was like, telling me, "Hey, Harley," this was like at 1 something a.m. and I was asleep. I'm like, why are you calling me from her phone? Is there anything wrong? She's like, Gene, she got brutally attacked, and now she's in the hospital. I popped out, like, what? I had to immediately go over to the hospital, and luckily the hospital is actually like mile and a half, actually like a mile away from where I lived. I rushed over there. I was waiting on. I saw her strolled in to where she lost a lot of blood. I've never seen so much blood loss. At that time, I'd never seen so much blood loss in my life until then. And like, she was rushing. I couldn't even be there. I was rushing to go ahead and be with her and all that stuff too. I don't even talk to them. I'll get to that point later. But I know I rarely talk to the mom, but it was just a tragic. It was just a tragic moment. I was waiting outside the emergency room for like almost nearly an hour, probably over an hour. I couldn't. So much was going through my mind that I didn't. That time was the last thing on my mind, and so I rushed over to her, and they did tell me, like, you are free to see Jean, but she's losing. They told me she was losing way too much blood. So I moved the doctors aside. Her last words were to me, "Hi, Harley." I was like, "Hi, Jean. What happened to you?" I was in brutal shock. I was at that point where I didn't know what to think. At that point, I was like, "Please stay with me. Stay with me. Like, we're right there." Like, she's like, "I know, but I can't see anymore. I can't feel anything." She was like to me, "But just please know, and I want you to tell you, I love you, and stay alive and be happy with your life. Keep striving forward to the great person you always were to me, and carry that on to another person that deserves you, because I love you, Harley." Then her life support went out. I was so lost. My mind was in the dark spot to where I couldn't even crawl out of it. I was drenched in my own tears. It was like, and then at that point, I was in a depression stage for so long. On top of that, like, it was like a month later, I had a dog named Poochie, a standard beautiful poodle, who passed away too. So one thing led to another, and I was having a terrible year of school. Part of it was laziness, but a lot of it had to do with that. I'm not gonna blame my failure at school based on those two tragic losses, because at the end of the day, it's still my responsibility. But it was hard to function as a person after all that. Then I had a basketball accident where I got elbowed in the throat. I lost my voice for a certain amount of time, and a lot played a role. It was. I'm sorry if I'm tearing up a little bit, but I had to point this out sooner or later, because I wouldn't want to. I wasn't able to do it on my Instagram. I figured I might as well show it to where people could start learning my story from why I tell people 2014 was my worst year. And so I made a promise myself that I was going to do better in school, because justice was served to the people that killed her. They all got life in prison. They got caught. Evidence was found as to what the lead up was. And then once they got all caught, they all confessed. And they all got life in prison. So now at that point I could say that Jean is resting in peace, knowing that those vile, low-class scum of people did that to her. When that happened too, I was about to destroy something in front of me because I couldn't accept it. My message to all of you is to cherish the ones you love close to you from beginning to end. There could be some bad flaws about that one person. There could be some flaws that no one deserves to go through. There could be a certain thing about that person where you might think to yourself, I don't want to, he's a bad person because he does this, or bad people really show their character when they do stuff to what they did to Jean, when you steal money from people, when you take advantage of them as a person and how they live their actual life, to where they can't even put their own smile on their face and you have to take that away. That's to me something to where I can say when you're a bad person. But little small flaws here and there. You gotta accept, whether it's your brother, your sister, your parent, grandparent, your boyfriend, girlfriend, cousin, they're one of your most important people of your life too. If they impact your life and they're your blood, knowing that they did whatever they can to make you the person who they are, and then you reciprocate that back, there should be no complaint. My two older brothers have been there for me from the very beginning, and never would I ever think that just because they do one bad thing or say one bad to me that I have to change my whole opinion about them. Never. Because they were the father figure that I never had when my father left to go to Panama, which is going to be on my next video when I mention that soon. But after that, I made a promise to myself that whenever I become successful at a lot of things, I can think about her. And I'm glad I did. Being the fact that I've only been with her for 9-10 months, it was very well worth it. With the end, it was the end result I didn't want it. It was the end result I never wanted. But the story that we had together was unlike anything I can highly imagine. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hit like and subscribe. Let's get them subscribers up, them likes up, them views up. Let's make this channel possible. Don't ever be afraid to voice your opinion of what happened to your past. This video is also to make sure that don't be afraid to keep hitting sad feelings inside of you forever. Have a voice. Please speak up. Please voice yourselves on the bad past you've had, to where you know as you get older, you'll gain the confidence to earn the self-image that you deserve. Having these feelings locked up inside you doesn't prove anything. It's what you can do by having a voice. I love you all. Holla at me later.